Welcome back to Singletree Nation, guys. It's your man, Charlie, right here with Marisa, and we are talking all things catering. If you've watched the last couple of episodes, then you know we are well into how to build and grow and develop a catering business. This episode is going to be a lot about the sales side of it. And diving in from top to bottom, from the inquiry to the going out and finding them, and what we do once we've gotten the contacts, and how we follow up, and then all of the things.
Yeah, it might seem like basic stuff. Anyone who has a business, but we're hoping that you give a little insight into how Singletree does it, and maybe teach someone else, but also give a little bit of your special touch on that. So we did talk about the backstory of Singletree. We also talked about, doing the things you need to do first in order to understand catering, pricing, menus, inquiries. But this is the meat of it, I feel like, is actually getting the sale and going from, all right, you got all your tools. Now, how do you actually get the sale? So,
Yeah, the big thing about whether it's catering or in-store sales or the food truck or whatever it may be, we all say that we're in the food business most of the time, but we're not. We're in the people business.
Right.
So you can have the best barbecue around, you can have the best steaks, you can have whatever. It doesn't really matter if you don't have the people side. And this is where the people, where the rubber meets the road, right? Where the people meet the people, and they decide whether or not they're going to use you for whatever special event they may have. And what we forget a lot of times is that this is their Super Bowl. Whether it's their kid's 3-year-old birthday party, or their 50th wedding anniversary, or their wedding, or their birthday,
or even on the flip side, celebration of life. Like, it's important to them.
Yep. It's an important event, and you, no matter whether it's a corporate event or whether it's a personal event, it's important to them, and they are choosing you to produce the best quality lunch, dinner, food for that event, right? So it starts well before that.
Right. Can you share a specific story where you talk about the people and building relationships, of how that played a crucial role in someone working with you?
So I got a few,
okay,
but I'm gonna give you the most recent one that I don't even know if you know yet.
Probably not.
So there's a catering platform out there that it's a catering lead platform.
Oh yeah, I've seen the emails. Yeah.
So I got on there as a guest. Sent an inquiry because I wanted to see how it worked, right? And if we're going to use it, then okay, let me at least go through it. I got to test it out on myself. So I would tell you this is what not to do. Okay? So I sent the email, and I was stoked because almost immediately, within 60 seconds, I get an email back. I would love to speak with you about your catering needs. That phenomenal. I was really happy
you sent
with
it to one.
I sent it to 5. So this platform, you can send one email and go to 5 different caterers.
Okay.
So one of these caterers sent me an email back. I mean, within 60 seconds. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We would love to help you with all your catering needs. And I was like, that's pretty good. And I told Ryan, I was like, that's hospitality. That's what you do, right? I was stoked. I was so wrong. So wrong. Less than a minute later, my phone rings. I don't answer it because I'm in the middle of talking to Ryan about catering stuff, and it goes to voicemail. So I have one of those things that pops up your voicemail and you can read it, right? Yeah. So So I'm looking at it, and it's that caterer.
Mm-hmm.
So now they've replied to my email and called me. I didn't reply to either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Within 5 minutes of that, I got 15 text messages.
Oh boy.
15 text messages back to back to back to back. At the end of it, I was going to place a catering order for my team.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do it and
Mm-hmm.
and just see how they did there, so I can get
Yeah.
Ryan to see it as well. At the end of it, I never responded to one of those texts until the 15th text message, and I said, "Please stop texting me."
Mm.
That's all I said.
Yeah.
Because I was so frustrated with my phone going off
Mm-hmm.
15 times in a row, plus the phone call, plus the email. So it's it's crucial that you take the steps, and you're quick
Mm-hmm.
in your response, you're precise, but you're not pushy.
Right.
And you take the time to build the relationship you need to build with that person, not just go over the top and blow them up.
That's like
Because
excessive.
it's going to
Yeah.
hit you the other direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what it did. It caused me to not even want to communicate with this person at all. Just no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So the other side of it is we have a lady that uses our services, and like I was telling you earlier, she's just like the other lady that is, hey, here you go. This is what this is what I'm doing. Make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is simply because we go out of our way to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that she has everything she's ever wanted when it comes to her catering order.
Right.
So when you have those, we've taken the time to actually have conversations, and we've done a big birthday party with the food truck at her house.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we always make sure that she has exactly what she needs.
Mm-hmm.
We ask all the proper questions, right? We clean up after ourselves when we leave.
Mm-hmm.
She even made the comment to me one time that she's never had a caterer come to her house that made it cleaner than it was before she left. So, that's
Want your house clean? Call a caterer.
Call a caterer, right? Call Singletree Barbecue. We clean houses and serve your food.
Right.
So it's but in doing that, right, it's built a name for us.
Mm-hmm.
For Thanksgiving and Christmas, we sell turkeys for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not one of those guys that will cook 100 turkeys or try to even sell 100 turkeys. I don't want to. My job is to make sure that I cook everything perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
and not mess up somebody's holiday.
Right.
You want to leave a sour taste in somebody's mouth, mess up their wedding,
Mm-hmm.
mess up the food for Thanksgiving dinner,
Right.
right? Mess up Christmas,
Yeah.
right? Somebody's wedding is one of the biggest days, if not the biggest day, that they're ever going to have in their life.
Mm-hmm.
We have to not only make sure that we do our job, but we have an obligation to do more than they've asked us to do.
Right.
If you do that, then you're building the relationship with
Right.
those people, right? They will come back and see you again.
Does building that relationship always equal an order
No,
right away? Right.
no,
Yeah.
no, it does not. Prime example is I have a client that uses us pretty frequently now, probably 2 or 3 times a year. The first order I ever got from them was, I think it was for 20 people. The next order I got from them was for 500 people. So now I get an order from them a couple of times a year for 400 or 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very easy order for me. I know exactly what we're going to do. We've done it a couple of times now, but um, I don't even have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But because I took my time and said, okay, hey, you got everything you need. That first order, I knew the company was a large company. Um, I knew that if I made sure I took care of them every time that they ordered, they would take care of us.
Right.
And that's that's hard to do because sometimes you're gonna give away food that
Yeah.
you're not gonna get back. But a lot of times when you do,
Mm-hmm.
it'll come back tenfold.
It sounds like there's a little bit of research in who you target in terms of your. I
Yeah.
mean, because
Yeah.
you can look at any big city; they have plenty of caterers or plenty of
Mhm.
people that serve people. But tell us about who your target people are versus I want to serve everyone right now.
So that's the easy thing to do, right? It's
Mhm.
easy to go, ooh,
Yeah.
Rutherford County, here we are, Nashville,
Yeah.
Lebanon, Mount Juliet, we got you.
Sounds like a used car salesman.
Yeah. Come on down to the Singletree barbecue. We'll get you 2 ribs for the price of 1.
Oh my gosh.
No. Yeah.
That's another content piece you got to do.
Right. The when you're looking for catering, you're not trying to you want to. It's all encompassing, yes, right. There's not anybody in our county, in our state, that I would not work for,
Mm-hmm.
or help out with their barbecue needs. But it's got to make sense too, right? I'm not gonna have somebody drive to Nashville from our restaurant, which would be an hour and a half, 2 hour round trip in the car,
Mm-hmm.
for a 5-person to go order.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't make sense, right? But if it's a 50-person catering that wants us to come to Bell Road, sure, let's figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
There's some logistical things there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going and targeting that right now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the bandwidth and the people to go do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
One day we will. Currently, today we don't.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it's we're zeroed in on Rutherford County, but even more so, we're also zeroed in on the things that we know we can make an impact in. We know that the car dealerships here in town order catering for their teams every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We know that we're not doing that. So let's call them and see if they would like to use us, right? So far they want to use us.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hospitals, the pharmaceutical reps, the pharmaceutical reps that go around to all the doctors' offices typically cater all these lunches for all these people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting contact information for those individuals, so we can contact them and say, hey, look, here's another option for you when you're ready to use it. There's platforms out there like Easy Cater, that will help you build, that have orders already in the system ready to go. Here you go, Merry Christmas, right? Happy New Year. So diving into that and zeroing it down. Barbecue for weddings right now has been very popular. I've done a couple of weddings in the last couple of months, last month really, that are that specifically wanted barbecue. So being a part of those venues and being a preferred caterer at those venues is very important, right? So, when you have those things in place, then you can start going to the next step of the relationship and working on the sale of the order.
Yeah. And recurring business, like
Very
you said,
much so.
car dealerships. Weddings probably not every year or every month.
No.
People don't get married.
The thing I like about the weddings is typically, like the last wedding we did, I think was for 150. And the great thing about that is just as much as it is a wedding, it's marketing as well,
Right.
right? Because that's 150 people that may or may not have ever had your food before. And if most of your immediate family lives in and around the area and they like the food, well, they may not be in Murfreesboro, but they might be in Las Casas or Lebanon or Franklin or whatever that could drive to you and come get your food. So it's kind of two pronged,
Right.
right?
And then they get married, have a child, and then their first baby birthday is catered.
Birthdays, all the
It's kind of
things.
like a realtor relationship, right? Like that,
Very much so. Yeah, they're not going to call you every day, but when they need something, if you treat them right, then they'll call you.
They come back. For sure. So you talked a little bit about the surrounding areas and saturating your community. So give us examples of how you can do that outside of just calling people.
It's a lot of networking.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty relevant that social media is the new age of marketing, right? We say that we have a goal of having 5 different posts every day on all 7 platforms, and we're getting close to that. But we have the capability and the abilities to do more. And if you're not a household name for all X amount of residents in your community, then you got work to do, right? So, social's one way, networking events, Chamber of Commerce. We're big in the veteran community, so getting more part of the VFW or nonprofits that help veterans, like a Soldier's Child, Minutes Wisely, that I'm personally a part of, and Mr. Trent Dennison. Shout out to Fleek and Polly and all of our Minute Wisely folks. But doing those things help attract more attention to all the other things that you do, right? So we don't give back to the community for that reason, but it does have a side effect, right? So the more people you can meet, the more events you can be a part of, help do, the more you can drive towards your business.
Have you ever faced a challenge in one of those events where you didn't feel like you could work with that person? Like, are you just like, I can work with everyone based on?
So I'm personally pretty good about being able to work with most people.
Yeah.
But I am also pretty straightforward as well. And I don't really allow people to push me around too much. I can take the abuse, right? And I have, but I won't tolerate rude individuals. Entitlement is a hot button. That's a pressure point, right? And it don't take a lot of pressure to push on that to get me going. I don't think anybody's entitled to anything other than what you work for, right? There's a quote that you're going to get me on my high horse. There's a quote that says, don't be mad about the things you didn't put the work in for. And not getting the results you want. That's pretty big for me. So the entitlement thing really drives me crazy. But I think building the relationship up front helps you not have to worry about that, right? I've had people that were not
Pleasant.
not real nice.
Yeah.
Right. They weren't the nicest people in the world. But typically, if somebody is rude, there's ways to handle it that can kind of flip it around. You if somebody says, no, you're going to do this. Okay. Well, that's nice. That's not what I'm going to do. I appreciate you. Here's what we had talked about. This is what we're going to do. This is what you paid for, or this is what you're going to pay for. If that's acceptable to you, then we'll move forward.
Yeah.
And then you kind of turn it right back around, and the ball's in their court, right?
Yeah.
So it's not about being mean, rude, or disrespectful. It's about having boundaries.
Right.
And I won't tolerate somebody not treating my staff the way that I treat the staff, right? And my team is one of the most important things that we do every day,
Right.
right?
Exactly. Well, it sounds like a great place to work. You hiring? No, just kidding.
Yes, we are always looking for amazing people. Come on down at the home of the 2-for-1 rib. Seriously, we are always hiring, though.
And you are, talking about getting out into the community, building relationships, networking. We talked a little bit about the local chamber.
Yep.
I think there's a misconception about it, some people. So tell me why you think joining a local chamber is beneficial.
So I will tell you that you get what you put in with the chamber, right? The chamber's job is to not build your business. And
you don't join the chamber, then you have business.
You don't go, ooh, I'm a chamber member, and then all of a sudden, you don't go to any meetings, you don't show up, you don't go to do anything, you don't put in the work, right? Same deal. So I can tell you that I personally, it's kind of like the pot calling kettle black here. I don't put in as much effort in the chamber as I need to. Now, I'm not complaining about what I'm not getting.
Yeah.
But the events and the things that I've done with the chamber come back to me tenfold. Every time I go to an event or go speak or be a part of or sponsor or whatever it may be, you get the results back. But it's being there and being authentic and being you that helps build the business.
The relationships.
The chamber gives you the opportunity. If you want to put in the work and go shake those hands and kiss the babies and pass out the business cards, then you'll probably get somebody to call you.
Right. Exactly. I think someone like a service-based business might not think that because they're like, well, I can't do anything for them, going to the chambers, but
you can
build relationships
and that's where it's I tell people all the time that you're one phone call, one email, one handshake away.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Right? Because that one person's gonna feel like you treated them like gold and give you a 5-star review and refer 10 other people to your business, whatever it may be.
Right.
So it's always one phone call, one email, one handshake away, right? One post, one interaction. It's networking. It's the exact same thing. You may not need that person today, but 5 years from now, you may need somebody that does concrete slabs or that caters to 500 people or sells real estate or does a podcast, right? You might need those people, right?
Do you feel that you connect with people going to these events, networking on a deeper level versus like, I'm a barbecue business owner. Can I give you brisket and
I would say some of them I do. I've been told that I'm not the most approachable person.
I wouldn't say that. But.
The tattoos and the beard and the smug face. They people stand off from me sometimes.
You're a Gemini.
Yeah, I am a Gemini. I got multiple personalities.
Yeah, same.
But I think if I can get a conversation going with someone, then yes. But and it's not a great thing, but because of my appearance, it can be intimidating. I've been told a couple of times in my life that I'm an intimidating person.
Wow.
My response is, I'm only 5'7". How can I be intimidating? Right? I mean, that's ridiculous. Crikey. Sorry, it just hit me. Sorry. It's an inside joke, guys. Sorry. What happens when you get, what do we say, a British guy, an Australian, in the outback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crikey.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think it really just kind of depends on you, right? You got to put in the work, and then it's got to be reciprocated too, right? People got to want to know more about your story.
Right. Exactly. You can't tell a story all in just one interaction. Like,
no.
Hi, how are you? Here's my business card.
Man, I wish you could.
Soon we'll have the QR codes up here where you just scan
Tattooed?
it. Yeah, scan it, and then it'll audibly tell you in your ear like what your story is.
Maybe I should do that for my hats.
Yeah, just a QR code.
Just a QR code.
Be hilarious.
Right there. I'm getting one made.
That's
I don't know how.
I wear like my podcast host shirts or like producer shirts, and people are like, "What is that?
What's that? I like it."
You and the accents. What's up with that?
I don't know. And with that, until next time, we'll see you later.